Son of a bitch, you changed it. There we go. One needs to be... Okay, there we go. Hey! Alright, let me turn that down a little. Actually, let me pick something a little more. I can't spin. This one says it's royalty free. I'm not too bad, not too bad. Just had a bit of an asthma attack, but it is what it is. We'll get into it in a second once more people have had a couple minutes to join. Probably what I will have a quick chat about before people start, if anyone does join. Hi Tension! So before I get into the topic, I'm not gonna make these let's chat things a regular thing, unless it's to do with my health. As a lot of you know, my policy is I am not into drama, I'm not into talking about politics, I'm not into talking about religion or whatever the latest craze is or what people are fighting about, blah 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 blah. Oh, and now an ad starts. That's okay, you guys can watch this later. I mean, unless I really have something that needs to be addressed, like my health, this won't be a regular thing. This will not be a regular let's talk about things. Unless, like I said, unless something needs to be addressed. My stance on a lot of things is, I was always brought up with the saying, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, okay? So we all have an opinion. Mine is not right, yours is not right, because everybody's opinion differs. You know? They're opinions. They're not the truth, they're not, you know, whatever. So, you know, unless I feel really opinionated on something, hi Ghost, then we might have more of these talks. But first and foremost, this is all about my health. Hey Demon! Oh wait, I was gonna hide that, hang on. Cause so I've turned everything off, so there's nothing turned on. I love you too. So there's nothing turned on because I don't want to get detracted from what we're going to discuss today, but I just wanted to say that these kind of talks will be more about my health. If God forbid, let's hope I don't get any more problems. Let's knock on wood, please. And like I said, you will never see me unless something so dramatical happens that it's like, oh my god, I have to, you know, and it will probably be more something that's geared about me, but let's hope to God that that drama doesn't revolve around me. Yes, no scaring, please. I just got over having an asthma attack. I want to breathe for 5 seconds. But so anyway, let's get into this. If some people miss out, this will be posted on YouTube. Just for people to look back if they miss. You can leave me breathless. I'm still trying to catch my breath a little bit. So, the reason I decided to do this is I was actually inspired by another VTuber, and I've always said I wanted to do this, was, you know, raise mental health awareness and whatnot, because as some people have come to learn from my Discord, yes, I do suffer from mental health, but that's actually not why we're here. We're here to discuss a different illness. A lot of people don't know this about me, but VTubing, when I got into VTubing, it wasn't for any specific reason. Well, one, it was specifically because I'm super lazy. And this way I get to live out my dream of being part bunny girl. So, you know, Bunny doesn't have a lore. Bunny is me. Okay, Bunny doesn't have some crazy lore where she's a bunny from the moon, or, you know, I just got to design cool clothes, have hair that I would kill for, and have adorable bunny ears. And also, I wanted to be a white-haired bunny with red eyes, because I wanted to raise awareness for Roo bunnies, but the amount of people with white hair is ridiculous, so I wanted to stand out a little bit. Anyway, getting a little bit off topic there. I'm Aussie from the moon. Well, according to some people, Australia doesn't exist, so I'm just a paid actor from Australia, from quote unquote Australia. So anyway, so I am not big time into, like, I knew about Kizuna Ai. I knew about her because she was freaking everywhere. I didn't really watch her a lot. I saw like little shorts and things, and yeah, it gave me a giggle. But that's not why I became a VTuber. So if you were to honestly ask me if I knew any big VTuber names, I could come up with, aside from Kizuna Ai, I could come up with two that I can think of, and that's Iron Mouse and Shy Lily. Those are the only two I know. And it's not because I watched them either. Shy Lily and Iron Mouse started popping up probably about a year or two back on my YouTube, because I was looking up, you know, different things from my VTube streams, like what do VTube, like how to like customize my VTuber more, like how can I do this, how can I do that, kind of learning process thing, like tutorials on how I can, you know, things that I didn't generally know how to do. And recently Iron Mouse has been popping up more and more, and I didn't know if they were clickbaity titles that were popping up on my stream. Not on my stream, but on my recommended, but it was talking about, you know, Iron Mouse has to have like medication pumped into her heart. She talks to this other streamer about how she's relearning to walk and whatnot. So I was like, all right. I clicked on one of the videos, as you do, and found out she's got, I ended up doing some research because, obviously I'm not in the loop, and she's got a pretty rare disease, and the reason she started VTubing was kind of for the similar reasons I was. I started getting sick literally not long after I started streaming. It was in my very early stages of streaming. It really hit more a little bit later into my streaming, probably about a month or two after I started streaming, and I kind of felt like, okay, well, I mean, I don't, sorry, I'm gonna ramble a little bit while I kind of try and work out what it is I'm trying to say. So yeah, so basically I had the same reason as her, is I was stuck indoors, I was unwell, I couldn't socialize, gaming was all I really had, and I was like, well, if I can game, why not game with people? Why not share my love with other people and chat about it and have fun? And then I was reading about how sick she was, and I was a bit inspired by that. Like, it's always been on my want list, I guess you could say, to talk about the other things that I am not well with. but I haven't quite got there yet. However, I feel like I need to discuss this specific thing that I have been diagnosed with, because it is having a very significant impact on my life, and I have been skirting around it. Like, I get a lot of people who message me on Twitter or Discord and are like, how are you? And it's like, yeah, I'm not feeling well, and I kind of don't really explain what it is that's going on with me, because it's really hard to, because unfortunately what I've been diagnosed with is, it's really hard, because there's many different, it's still being researched on, and I will give you guys the name in a second. I have a couple of pages open here, so I can just kind of give you guys the lowdown. But what I have is called, so it is called Functional Neurological Disorder, FND for short. So I'm gonna try and explain this the best way I can. So FND is basically, hey lamb, FND is basically the wires in my brain, well, not the wires, but like the nerves in my brain are sending off signals to the rest of my body that they shouldn't be. And unfortunately, this comes with a lot of complications. It took a good, let's see, I first saw a neurologist back in, I think it was 2021 or 2020. And he at first diagnosed me with epilepsy, because I was displaying what was epileptic seizures. They just started out of nowhere. I had been getting very sick. I had an incident happen which set off these seizures. But he, without really doing much testing, said I was epileptic, put me on epilepsy medication. And at first it helped a little bit, and then I started getting worse. It was to a point where at first it was, I would have a seizure probably once every couple months. And then as the years slowly ticked on by, I would start having a seizure a couple times a month, until it got to the point where I was actually having a couple a week. And I went to my GP, first I went back to the neurologist and I was like, look, and he did some testing and he was like, well, it's not showing up as epilepsy, so I don't know what it is. So you're not epileptic. So I went back to my GP and my GP was like, yeah, no, this guy's a fruitcake. We're gonna send you to a bigger hospital with better doctors. And I got sent to another neurologist. So basically where I got sent was, it was one of the big hospitals in the city, one of many in the city, I should say, because there's quite a few. But I got sent to a specialist clinic where basically they had different doctors that dealt with different parts of the brain. And I got sent to a specific doctor because it looked like I had epilepsy, which was very confusing to my GP because I was showing all the signs and symptoms. Basically, when I would have one of these, I guess you could call them episodes, it looked like even every ambulance crew, you know, I would fall over, I'd start having an epileptic fit, my eyes would roll into the back of my head, I'd lose consciousness, I'd be foaming at the mouth, vomiting all over myself. I was a hot mess. So so my doctor was very confused because he was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, to everything on paper, it looks like it's epilepsy, but and I'll get to why it wasn't epilepsy. So anyway, so I went and I saw this doctor, and before I went to see him, I'd had what was a 7-day EEG. EEG, I think it is. Basically, what they did was they stuck little wired plastic things to all over my head. I couldn't shower for a week. Well, I could shower, but I couldn't get my hair wet, which was really, really, oh my god, it was painful as, because I had allergic reaction to the gel that had to keep this crap stuck to my head. And basically those wires were hooked up to this battery-packed massive suitcase that had a camera pole stuck on it, and it was to monitor and also record me. So if I had an episode, they'd have the recording of it, as well as it would have the readings on this computer device in the suitcase. It was the worst thing ever. So when I went and I saw this specialist finally back in, it was last year of when was it? August. It was back in August. He was really great, listened to everything I had to say, looked at all the everything I'd had done, and he said, look, you don't have epilepsy, you have what's called, and he called it something different, I can't remember what he called it, but apparently the doctors who do specialize in FND don't like to call it. If I went to a normal GP, they would call it a non-tonic-clonic seizure. Now, non-tonic-clonic means basically that I'm faking it or that it's not real. However, neurology-wise, and this is from the epileptic neurologist himself, the guy who specializes in this, as well as from the FND clinic specialist, my seizures are very real. They're not epileptic, however, but they are still very real. So, basically, what the difference is between an actual epileptic seizure and a seizure is, like the seizures that I'm having is, so people who have epilepsy, even when they're not having an epileptic seizure, the wiring in their brain, or the nerves in their brain that cause them to have those seizures, have a signal that constantly sends through. However, I don't have that. So my brain shows nothing, which is where the confusion came from, because people with FND who have seizures, it doesn't show up on any scan. It will not show on an MRI, it will not show on a CT, it will not show on any sort of brain scans what is going on. However, my seizures are very real. They're not epileptic, thankfully. However, people can have epilepsy and FND at the same time. And I'm going to get into FND more, because FND is more than just seizures. Which is why I am sick a lot. Another reason why I wanted to bring this up was because a family member of mine, now it's because it is rare, they still are researching it. They don't 100% know, that they've got an idea of how they think FND works. But again, there's still a lot of uncertainty towards it. And a family member of mine has recently developed fibromyalgia, and they have FND as well. And unfortunately, fibromyalgia is an unfortunate byproduct of FND. So if you don't know what fibromyalgia is, it's I'm pretty sure it's sorry, I have to Google it again myself. Myalgia. So it's basically, it's pain, musculoskeletal pain and fatigue. It's very painful. The person, I'm not going to say who, but they're a part of my family. It's possibly genetic that it gets passed down, hence why I might have FND. Not 100% sure on it. However, they are in so much pain. They are having to wear a what's it called? So it's a patch they wear on their back, and it's a slow release of, I'm trying to think of what, sorry, my brain. So another thing that FND causes is really bad memory loss. So like I could be in the middle of saying something and I'll completely forget, and I forget names really easily. What am I doing? So I'm just having a chat about my health. I not forget you. No, I not forget you. So I am very forgetful though, unfortunately. Like I'll be in the middle of saying something. No, I not forget you. So I will be in the middle of saying, I love you, demon. I love you. Mwah, I no cry. What is it? I'm trying to think what the medication is. What's the really strong shit they give you in hospital when you're like in a lot of pain? Like the really, really good morphine. Thank you. So what it is it's a morphine patch, and it's a slow release, and this person has to be on it every day. And even that, and anyone who's been on morphine, that shit's good shit. Anyone who's had to be on morphine should know that shit works. However, they are still in an extreme amount of pain. But let me just go into so to basically get down to it, I'm just going to read from two different articles about functional neurological disorder and what symptoms I am suffering from, so that you guys can kind of get a grasp, because it goes beyond the seizures. But basically, FND, it's a new broader term that they've named it, because they don't like to call it, like I said, GPs, general GPs who don't specialize in it, will call it non-tonic-clonic, which means it's not real, it's fake. And that's not a word that they like to use, because it is 100% real. It's a broader term that includes what some people call conversion disorder, features the nervous system or the neurological system. Symptoms that can't be explained by a neurological disease or other medical conditions. However, the symptoms are real and cause significant distress or problems functioning. Signs and symptoms vary depending on the type of functional neurological disorder and may include specific patterns. Typically, this disorder affects your movement or your senses, such as the ability to walk, swallow, see, or hear. Symptoms can vary in severity and may come and go or be persistent. However, you cannot intentionally produce or control your symptoms. So basically, as I said, GPs will go, oh, you're faking it, but your brain's going, your brain, these wires in your brain are so messed up that they're sending these signals to your body going, this is what you have to do. And you can't control that. You can't like stop, you don't have control of your brain. Your brain tells you what to do. So, and people with FND aren't intentionally doing it. So when I have a seizure, trust me, I am not intentionally having a seizure, because now that even though my seizures aren't epileptic, I'm still on epilepsy medication, because I'm finding that it is controlling my seizures. I'm not having a seizure like every week, at least a couple times a week like I was, whereas I'm having them maybe once in a blue moon, like I was in the very beginning of when this all started, which is great for me. The neurologist did want me to come off it. However, he misinterpreted how much I was taking, and the way he had me coming off of it, I would have come off it too quick, which was causing me to have really bad seizures. And so, and trying to get back into a big hospital like that, I've been trying since November of last year to get a hold of his staff, and nobody answers the damn phone. But that's a different conversation. So basically, what causes FND is at least it is partly unknown. They believe the triggers can be by a neurological disorder. What neurological disorder that is, they have no idea. They just do not know enough about the brain. It could be physical trauma. I mean, I've knocked my head around a few times because I'm not exactly the most non-wobbly person in the world. I've tripped many times. I think there was one time I was in the hospital 15 times because I fucked up my ankle from falling over. However, they do believe it is a half and half of neurological and mental health, which I'm not going to get into because I'm not ready to go there. I do have mental health. I'm happy to share that I do. I wouldn't say happy, but you know, I do feel comfortable enough to share that yes, I suffer from depression, major depression, and I have been diagnosed since 7 years old. No, don't ask me how old I am now, because that is rude as fuck. But since I was a small child, I've had childhood PTSD, I have PTSD, I have paranoia, I have anxiety, OCD. I'm pretty sure I am on the spectrum. I haven't been tested for it. I've been trying to get tested for it because I have a family member who is on the spectrum, and basically they're younger than me, and their mother was pretty much like, we are very similar in mannerisms, and has always suggested that, like, it's always been pointed out to me that it's possible. So aside from the seizures, which is what I seem to complain about most, but a lot of things people don't realize that I'm also suffering with because of the FND. And before I go on to those really quick, stress really stupidly will set off, like, if I get too overwhelmed in a situation, I will, so that's why I'm very careful about when I game. If I have to walk away and just breathe for a minute, I will. Otherwise, I will go into a seizure, which is really frustrating because it was never an issue before. But a lot of things I do deal with now are weakness or paralysis. So I am extremely weak now. Through the past 3 years, like, I was never really a strong person to begin with. I've always been a little weakling. But I used to be able to run around the house and, like, within hour and a half, I could vacuum, have the bunnies' areas cleaned, do the dishes, and I'm talking about vacuuming the whole house, get the laundry started, get dinner started, you know, just I'd go do the shopping. You know, I used to be able to do all that and then some, and I would probably be a little bit puffed out by the end of it if I was doing, like, a lot. But nowadays, if I do, say, maybe 5 minutes of vacuuming, I am dead. I am literally on the ground. I am trembling. My hands are shaking. My arms are shaking. I am trying to rebuild up some of that, I guess, muscle. I don't know if it will work. I have some weights that I'm just gonna a little bit each day, you know, and I'm just gonna see if I can build up. But I've gotten to the point where some days I have to use a wheelchair because I am so weak. Like my whole body just feels like a sack of potatoes, and if I need to get around, I've got no choice but to use that wheelchair, which has really sucked. Coming from someone who was very independent, well, I suppose not very independent, but there was a lot of things I could do. There was like, you know, growing up in a family where, you know, very hard workers, I guess you could say. And that was when it came to anything. You put 110% into anything you were doing, even if that was just cleaning. It was always 110%, no matter what you did. So it's frustrating now, and I'm very grateful that I have people that I can rely on. Moggy, my wonderful video editor and not only manager, but also he's been my best friend of 10 years. He comes and he helps when my roommate has to go to work, when my roommate can't be here to help me. He comes in and he will do cleaning for me, which I very much am very appreciative for. But it sucks because I feel bad, because I should be the one caring for my bunnies. I should be the one cleaning my house, you know? Well, me and my roommate, that's our shared job, but I can't do my portion of it because of how limited I am. And especially the last few weeks, I'm finding I'm having a really bad time with my asthma. I'm going to talk to my doctor. I see my doctor tomorrow. Because I just got a general blood test to kind of see how everything's going, but I've been suffering from really bad asthma, and I don't know whether that's a part of FND because it's not on there, or whether it's just a part of me from the weakness. I've always had asthma, issues with asthma. So yeah, but anyway, so let's move on. So another thing is abnormal movement, such as tremors or difficulty walking. So yes, so tremors in my hands. I have developed so basically, think of someone. If you want to think of the tremors, think of someone, and I don't mean to offend anyone if they have Parkinson, but I just want to give like an idea. But think of someone with Parkinson's disease, how their hands tremble. That is basically how my hands are. And like, I'm holding my hand up right now and it's trembling a little bit, which really sucks because it has taken, so I know you guys have seen, some of you guys have seen, I am getting into digital art now. I nearly gave up drawing altogether once the trembling started getting really bad, because just drawing a straight line even is extremely hard. So I'm grateful that I decided to kind of go for start trying out digital, because I've drawn almost all my life. I've loved drawing. It was always pencil and paper. I could never get into digital, and then I kind of was like, you know what, I want to try doing digital now, which I'm grateful for because of all the tools that really help. So when I can't do a perfect circle, there's a tool for it, because 9 times out of 10 my hands, like I'm working on a piece of art right now, and it's really frustrating because the person I am drawing the art with, because it's a collaboration, they have such beautiful long hair, detailed hair, and I want to get those details in, but doing a straight line without making it look really, I guess you could say, because sometimes I have to really push on the pen, and so some lines will come out a bit darker than others, and it frustrates the absolute shit out of me because I love drawing. I was getting into, Moggy was teaching me how to paint my own garage kits, because Obviously, I love Garage Kids, and now he has basically I've had to give up on that now, and he has taken. I've had to pay him to paint my garage kits for me because my hands just aren't steady enough for a brush or and this isn't the type of where you lean against, you know how some people when they're painting miniatures or something like that, if you lean against my hands, like if I lay my hands atop my chest, like I'm doing it right now, I know you guys can't see, but they're still trembling, laying flat. That is how bad the tremors are. Loss of balance. I've always had loss of balance, but that's nothing new. Sorry, that one doesn't bother me. It's a loss of balance. This one has been coming up as a difficulty for me, which is difficulty swallowing or feeling a lump in my throat. So basically when I eat something, it feels like the food is stuck in my throat and it doesn't matter what it is I'm eating. I'll start to feel like I'm choking. It's really awful. Obviously seizures or episodes of shaking or apparent loss of consciousness or episodes of unresponsiveness. So I do sometimes, I will just, like my roommate will come and sit with me, you know, to keep an eye on me. Sometimes my mum will come and spend time with me. Moggy, obviously, when he's coming to help me out the house, will spend some time with me. And they might talk to me and it won't even go in through one ear and out the other. So if you've ever heard the phrase of off with the fairies, it's almost like someone's just gone into my brain and just flicked everything off, and I'll just sit there and I'll stare and nothing will come through. I will not receive any information. Not even if I'm staring at the TV. And I might be like that for a good 5-10 minutes, or until someone shakes me or is like, you know, Bunny, you okay? And it's like, what? And it's kind of like, it's like, again, like you've just been bubble wrap armor. Yeah. So it's basically like someone's just flipped a switch off, and then as soon as like I can snap to, somebody's flipped the switch back on. It's not like coming out of a fogginess or whatever. It's very much like everything's just shut down. And I do have times where I will literally, if I'm feeling weak enough, if I'm feeling crappy enough, I will just collapse. I will pass out for no reason. I will just, sometimes I can feel it coming. I can tell when I will, if I'm with someone, I'll be like, I'm going down, you know, get ready for it. Or if I'm by myself, I will do my best to try and, so I'm not falling and injuring myself. But sometimes it will just happen out of nowhere, and I just cannot help it. So numbness or loss of touch, or loss of the touch sensation. I do get pins and needles in my hands. I haven't had full-on numbness yet, so I don't know if that's something that's coming. I do get pins and needles in my hands and in other parts of my body. Speech problems, such as inability to speak or slurred speech. I definitely do get this when I'm not feeling well. I'm very, or, yeah, when I'm not feeling well, I have this tendency to, what's the word? I get a, what's the word? Oh, what is it? Jimmy from South Park does it. Stutter. So I stutter, or I get, you know, you would think I'm having a stroke because of how slurred my words are, but thankfully I'm not having a stroke. Also, hearing problems or deafness. I kept thinking I was having a head cold, But I have been having issues with my ears getting blocked recently. This one and vision problems have become something new for me. So like these are things that can just kind of pack on, if you get what I mean. And no, it's not selective hearing. Like literally I feel like I have, because I watch Archer so much, even though I've like watched the shit out of Archer, and the way he explains it, sometimes I feel like I have tinnitus because my ears will start ringing out of nowhere, or sometimes I will just all of a sudden my ears will be blocked, and I find myself talking louder because I can't hear myself. And I've noticed I've been getting double vision. That could be too because I'm supposed to wear glasses and I don't. I don't wear them as often as I should, but yeah. Another thing too is so another, and this one's really embarrassing, especially when I'm out in public. So some of the spasms, wear my damn glasses. So sometimes when I have spasms, right? So like, and funnily enough, this should have been, well, it should have been a sign, because I've been suffering from it for 8 years now. Or no, it'd be more than 8 years now. But what happened? So I think what should have been a start off before the seizures was I was getting, just randomly one night, I started spasming in my left shoulder. And at first it wasn't too much of a problem. It would calm down. You know, I used to think, you know, because when people go to sleep, because this would only happen when I would go to sleep, when I'd be, you know, conking out for the night. You know how sometimes when your muscles are relaxing, they do spasm a little bit. That's normal. Well, the thing is, it developed from that to my whole shoulder would start spasming really bad. I would have to lay on my left side to get it to stop, and then it started going down my arm, and then it progressed to my leg, and it was all on the left side. And it would get to the point where it would keep me awake all night. It wouldn't matter if I slept on my left side. It didn't matter if the doctors gave me something to take to try and sleep. And then it progressed into my face. One day I was just sitting around, and my mum has named it the Joker smile, basically. So the left side of my face, the left side of my mouth, it will jerk up, and it will go as far as my muscles are willing to go, and I will kind of have like this really half creepy smile, while the right side of my face is deadpanned. So I can't control this. Like, my teeth will, and I have a problem with my jaw because I broke my jaw when I was 14. So it's very painful for my jaw because all the muscles will spasm up, including the muscles in my jaw, in my eye, all that left side, specifically around my mouth area, and my teeth will clench together. However, I can do whatever I want, like with my right side, and I can try and sit there and massage the left side of my face, but it will not unbunch or undo whatever it's doing, whatever the muscles are doing, until it's ready to. So I could be like that for 10, 20 minutes, and it's very painful. Sorry, there's a lot of symptoms to go through. So There's also functional dizziness. I am very dizzy all the time. Like, I've been, in the mornings, I've started having a horrible time getting up in the morning because the room, it absolutely spins. I would say fairy bread. And so basically I have to lay here for about an hour, maybe 2 hours in bed, because the room will just spin and spin and my head. Another thing too with FND is there is chronic pain, and it's chronic pain anywhere. Like I said, the fibromyalgia, as well as chronic migraines. This past week, not this week, but last week, why I didn't stream was because I was having a mixture of not only migraines, but sinus headaches, and painkillers were doing nothing. And then this week, I have been nothing but dizzy. So basically, I mean, if you want to do more research on FND, I could rattle off. There's a lot more to it than that. But basically, this is why, if you guys don't see me a lot, if I just say I'm not well, it could be any one of these reasons. Unfortunately, sometimes I get them all in one big go. Because it is a broad spectrum of things. It is not just the, like, I felt I was fopping it off to seizures. And once quite a few people learnt that it wasn't epileptic seizures, that I think it kind of dismissed some of what I was going through. And I just need to know I could be a lot worse off. I could be, like I said, I was inspired by Iron Mouse to discuss. I could be like her. But everybody suffers differently. Everybody, you know, no two illnesses are the same. The way I am suffering from my FND is completely different to, say, my family member who is suffering from it. They are in a lot more pain than I am in. That may be something I have to look forward to once I am much, much older. God forbid, I hope not. Because my symptoms steadily worsen. But I'm trying things to slow it down. There's really the only cure they say they have for FND at the moment, obviously not the epilepsy medication. I'm not supposed to be on those, but again, I need a professional to help me wean off them. And again, trying to get a hold of the neurologist has been a pain in my goddamn ass. The only other option I have is psychotherapy. And I did go to the FND clinic. I have been diagnosed with FND. And we kind of had a bit of a start session. However, I did not do very well during that session. I discovered that I was not ready to face the demons that I have, I guess you could say, blocked off. I did something very stupid that I have never ever done. I've never been much of a drinker. I don't know, just never been much of it. I've always been told I'm an old soul, you know. I was never much of a partier, still am not. Never much of a drinker, never touched drugs, never smoked, never, you know. I hate to tell you all, Bunny is very boring. Bunny just likes to snuggle up with a hot chocolate and watch a good movie with the bunnies, or just play some video games and have fun. Okay? I am vanilla as it comes. In some cases. Obviously you guys know that's not the whole truth because you've seen my not for safe work up. Yeah. But I unfortunately, because of how fucked up the session left me, I actually turned to drugs and alcohol, and I have never ever in my entire life done that. I had a little bit of wine. I think you guys might have remembered I bought a little bit of wine because I'm not, yeah, and they were prescription drugs. Moggy now has a hold of my medication, and he brings it over, and my roommate, like, he gives it to my roommate. He'll give like enough for the week, and my roommate kind of dishes it out for me morning and night before they go to work and when they come back, or if they're able to come back before dinner. If not, Moggy knows where it is, because I am not allowed to be trusted with, because I was overdosing on. I was also taking my because it was readily there for me, I started taking my roommate's prescription medication, because I was just so distraught. I wanted to sleep. I didn't want to. So it wasn't a matter of I wanted to end things. I just didn't want to feel. I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted it all to just kind of go back in a box. So at the moment, treatment is not a viable option for me. However, looking at the studies, I haven't read all the studies I've read. They're very wishy-washy about, yes, it works, no, it doesn't work. It might work, it might not work. So there being a full-on treatment, they say, as I said, psychotherapy and learning to rewire your brain, which I don't. How do you do that? I mean, that sounds very nonsensical to me. I mean, if my brain is messed up, how am I supposed to stop my brain from sending signals telling my body to do things that I don't want it to do? Like, because the brain thinks it's so damn important, it's gonna do what it wants to do. I can't tell my brain what to do, you know, when it comes to certain things. Like, I can tell it if I want to walk, if I want to, you know, but otherwise, it's for the very specific things of like, right, I want you to cause me pain. I can't control that. I can't control when it wants me to feel pain, when it wants me to have a seizure, when it wants me to pass out. So basically, in the end, I just wanted it to be, I guess, a bit of an awareness that this disease, I don't know if you could call it a disease, I don't know what you'd call it, but I want you guys to know it is a real thing. It's very scary, I will be honest. I'm so sick some days that I get scared. I get scared, you know, thinking this is the rest of my life, stuck in a bed where my head just feels like it's ready to just, like, I don't have words for how my head feels, for collapsing in the middle of nowhere and then waking up and having no memory of, like, a lot of times when I have a seizure, I won't remember. My memory might start a couple of hours back. Even though my seizures have gotten better. I don't know. I haven't done enough research. I've just kind of done the research to try and wrap my head around what FND is, because like I said, the doctors don't... Trying to find exactly how to explain what it is, what I have, is hard enough in itself. I mean, you're welcome to look up if there are. I don't know if there are. But yeah, that would be great. I mean, if there are, maybe we will do a charity. That would be awesome to do a charity stream. But so how this will all affect my streaming is, look, I'm gonna try to keep with my schedules. I can't promise anything. I now make it a habit of, I don't make promises to anyone because I don't like making promises I can't keep. So if someone's like, can we do this on this day? I will say, it will depend on how I feel the day I wake up. Like, yes, yesterday when I first wanted to do this stream, I was doing great. And then I had to go help my mum with some things. And by the end of it, my head was just, I couldn't, because I'd actually managed to do a little bit at home, and then I went and helped her, and then I just that little, even though it was just a little bit, it was enough to send my body mentally, physically into not, I can't for the rest of the night. Hey Mayo, how you doing? So again, I will try to stick to my stream schedule. If I can't, I can't. But now you guys will understand why. If I say I'm not well, again, it could be for a plethora of reasons. It could be all the things I've just listed off as to why I can't do my stream. It's not because I've had a seizure. It could be because I've had a seizure. It could be because my head is just feeling dizzy and like shit. Yeah, again, it could be a plethora of all the above that I've listed, and there is more symptoms, like IBS one, which I don't have a gallbladder, so it can't definitively be guess whether I have IBS or whether it's because of the fact that I don't have a gallbladder, and sometimes something I eat doesn't. Yeah, get this. Yeah, you can get IBS from FND. Thank you, Mayo. If you missed some of this, Mayo, I'm gonna post this on YouTube later, so if you want to get a recap of what's been said. But yeah, so you'll probably see more on YouTube. So I'm gonna start doing more YouTube videos. Obviously I'm still gonna play, you know, we still got Stellar Blade to finish. And then we're gonna have, obviously we're gonna play together when it comes out. What is it? Silent Hill 2. But I'm gonna truck along. I'm just gonna do what I can do. I can't stream as much as I would love to make. And I know that some people were concerned because I was talking about quitting, because I was looking at this from a business angle. I very much wanted this when I really first started thinking of VTubing. Yes, I was thinking this is great because I'm not well, I can share my love of games, but at the same time I wanted to make a career out of it. And unfortunately I've been thinking about this from a career angle, when realistically I can't run this as a career angle. Like, to myself, I had to stop and think, I can't stream 7 days a week. I can't do these crazy hours that, you know, need to be done to be making money to be an actual, you know, what these other people on Twitch are making, because I don't have the capacity to keep up. So, I mean, if I make money on the side, I make money on the side. However, there's gonna be days, because like I said, I do have mental health problems, where I'm gonna look at, you know, other VTubers or other people who started before me, and I'm gonna think, why do I bother? Why do I, you know, and my health's gonna get me down, because I've lived, yeah, that is true. But, no, see, I've already lost my train of thought. What was I saying? See, and this really bothers me. I will start to say something, and then all it takes is like a second for me to completely lose what I was saying, which is really frustrating. No, I've just completely lost the train of thought. Yeah, about my mental health and that. So there are days where you may see me bitch online, and I'm being a drama queen. I'm being, I guess, an outlet, because it really, like, I've lived, again, don't ask me for my age, that's just rude, lady. But I've lived a long time not having, like, I guess you could say I've lived normally to a point. At least physically wise, I've lived normally, been able to, you know, get in the shower on my own, go to the bathroom without a wheelchair, you know, be able to cook, clean for myself, be able to go out and enjoy coffee with friends or go to lunch with friends, whereas I can't do that. Like, I've been planning to go out, and every time I do it, I'm just like, I wake up and I'm like, I can't. I feel very unwell. I feel like I cannot do it, which really sucks, because I feel like I'm missing out on things, and it's frustrating. It's when you're 25, Bunny will be 25. When you're 30, Bunny will be 25. Yeah, exactly. I will always be 25. So having lived, you know, so long with that independence, to have it just taken away, and this is now my 4th year of dealing with it, and I only just got a proper diagnosis. Like, I got it 100% confirmed earlier this year. Like, yes, I went to the neurologist, and he said, I'm pretty sure, but however, he's an epileptic, he's an epilepsy, I don't know. He deals with, you know, that kind of thing. So it was from the FND that I had. So it wasn't until February of this year that I've had a clear, yes, this is exactly what you have. Yes, I have dealt with it for the past, well, technically I've dealt with it for my whole life. The symptoms have just systematically gotten worse little by little, but it never got bad until 4 years ago, when it's really started to affect. It hadn't fully started affecting my life, but slowly over these past 4 years, it has diminished me little by little. It is not lethal. Don't think that, you know, I'm gonna diminish to the point where I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna be weak, and I'm gonna be irritable and moody some days, and I'm just, you know, I'm gonna be in pain a lot of the time, because my migraines are just, they're getting to the point where nothing is helping. Like, no matter how strong the medication I take, it does nothing for me. And thankfully, I'm only dealing with migraine. I do have another medical condition, which doesn't need to be discussed on here, not because, just it's It's just, let's just say it causes me pain, but it's neither here nor there. There's nothing that can be done about it. It's not deadly or anything. So I am in pain a lot of the time. But I try to just get through it. So I have to take a step back and say to myself, look, this isn't going to be what you wanted it to be, but I'm going to make the best out of it that I can. And I want to be honest with you guys. I want you guys to know what's going on. What, like, if maybe, I love you too, Demon. Love you. So, I mean, if more things come up, then yeah, I will happily let you guys know. If I don't know, God forbid I get another diagnosis of something. Yes, I do. If I do get another diagnosis of anything, then yes, I will let you know. But for now, this is what I haven't been trying to hide it from you guys. I just didn't know whether it was important to talk about, whether I wanted to share that information, whether I don't know. I don't know. I guess just yeah. But it felt like I'm getting to the point where it's like, I need to let you guys know. And there will probably be a thing of, I'm also gonna step back from, like, don't get me wrong, I love listening to you guys. I love being there for my foofles. I love, you know, being able to help you guys when you need an ear to listen, when you need an ear. But I'm gonna have to step back from that big time. Because I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling. Like, I still would love to talk to you guys. If you want to DM me, you know, message me. I still want to talk, but however, I really need to keep yes, you message me anytime. But I think I need to keep my stress to a minimum at the moment, because there's a lot going on in my real life. That is just you killed Crispy. Nice job. Sorry. It's off topic, but funny. But yeah, I've got a lot going on IRL. That is just, I'm trying not to let it stress me, but to a point, I'm oh my god, I am very much a person to easily stress. Oh, thank you, Demon. I definitely will. Because I have so much care for the people around me. And I get anxious, and then I'm up all night thinking, like, how can I help? What can I do? Blah, 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 blah. And that's just the type of person I am. But I need to step back from that and just think about me first, which is really hard. It's already been hard kind of transitioning and letting people take over and do things for me, because it's like, I should be the one doing that. It's taken me 4 years to get around to that. Kind of like, I don't complain now when someone helps me do the cleaning or the cooking or whatever it is I can't do. So I now need to get to the point where I'm like, right, I need to learn to stop stressing and taking everything on board that I shouldn't be. Yeah, so I don't really know how to finish this off, but this is what I wanted you guys to know about FND. So what I'm hearing is duct tape you, kidnap your stuff you in a room with large fuzzy fluffy couch with Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, you don't have to kidnap me. I'm already in the perfect haven. You just gotta strap me to my couch with all the bunnies. All the bunnies, and I got lots of bunny plushies around and whatnot, you know, just chuck them onto the couch and you're still gonna kidnap me. Well, you better bring the bunnies. Somebody's gonna take care of them. No! Not bringing the bunnies! But my babies, they need me! Puppies! No, little baby bunnies! Little baby bunnies. You should see little baby with the when they yawn, and then they have this little tooth. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted you guys to know what was going on with me. I can stop skirting around. Kind of when people are like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I could just be like, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not having a good day today." And people will understand, okay, cool, she's, you know, it's her FND flaring up, which again is most days. Like this morning, I woke up, I had an issue waking up, because again, the room was spinning, but after a while, I feel better now. As you could probably hear, I do feel a bit better. Sometimes I'm better by the afternoon, sometimes I'm not better until towards the evening. It just really, sometimes I'm not better until a couple days later. But anyway, so thank you everyone who did join. For those of you who weren't able to make it, I hope this kind of, yeah, helps you understand. If not, feel free, functional neurological disorder, or FND for short. Feel free to look that up in your own spare time. I suggest reading different articles, because some articles will kind of list some of the issues, some of them don't list all the issues. Thank you, Mayo. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. And now I don't have to hide this. I don't know why I was to begin with. I guess I didn't. It was still processing myself as well. And what I was gonna do long term. Long term, as I said, psychotherapy is just not on the table for me yet. Maybe in the future, once I have a better handle on things. But yeah, so that's gonna be it from me for today, and I'm hoping I will be back next week. Don't even remember how it is that I'm glad you came, Mayor. I'm glad you're all here. I love you. I love each and every one of my floofles. I love all you guys. I'm very appreciative that you all came to learn and hear what I had to say. But I hope I will be back to regular scheduling next week, so we can play some more Stellar Blade, because I finally caught up with a bunch of stuff that I needed to before we have to get into the final area. And also Spirit Hunter, which I'm still excited for finishing, because that game has jump scared me like no tomorrow. I'm absolutely loving that. And also I will have a new game coming up on YouTube within the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But until then, keep an eye on my Twitter. Feel free to join my Discord, and I will see you guys hopefully next week.